Hi everybody, my name is Mark Rosen. I'm a co-owner of Royal Stitch and Print. We do embroidery, screen printing, direct-to-film printing, and promotional products. We've been in business now, we're coming up right now on 3 years, and it's been a pretty interesting journey for someone my age who thought he was retiring and getting out of business and going a whole different direction. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to do this a little different order. Okay, so I'm going to start with embroidery because we started as an embroidery company. So one day I was in real estate and insurance, and winding down. I went to a game with my sons, a Knick game, and before the game we're at a restaurant, we're eating, and my son tells me him and his wife want to start a side hustle. So I used to have trophy and award stores. So he said they want to do that because he worked with it and he knows about it, and it's a decent way to make a little extra money from out of your house. But you need a lot of room for it. That was the problem. And we're just talking, and I said to him, his wife is a big cricket person. You know, she does a lot of vinyl and all that stuff, so she has a little bit of artistic talent. And I says, well, I always like watching embroidery machines, and I thought that was a pretty cool thing to do. I said to him, what about it? What do you think about embroidery? And we talked a little bit, and he called his wife. And they're talking. She said she loves it. So I said, well, the conversation ends here unless I could be a partner in it also, because I just like the idea of doing something with them. They immediately agreed because that was taking the financial part out of it for them, and they don't have to worry about equipment. So we talked a little bit, and the next morning, I bought a brand new embroidery machine. We don't know anything about it. We don't know. All we knew how to do was turn it on. We didn't know anything, but I said, let's go. Let's do this. We built out his basement, and we did everything we had to do. My daughter-in-law, Nicole, she got some lessons on the softwares and stuff like that, and we just tried to start selling stuff. We got an order here, an order there, and it was going pretty good. And all of a sudden, we got busier and busier and busier. And we're like, wow, like we really kind of weren't expecting this. We had one machine, and we're working, and then somebody asked us for T-shirts, and we found out how to do T-shirts. The only reason I wanted to do the other things was because I didn't want that person to go to someone else, because whatever I'm going to show you today, everybody does everything. So if they found someone else, they might go to them for everything. So, okay, I got to learn what we got to do. So this is just some of the embroidery stuff that we've done for customers. We do a lot of hats and a lot of everything, I guess. This is what you call a hoop when you're embroidering on those kind of machines. You got to take your apparel and you put it in this hoop, and then you slide it into the machine, and it'll embroider it. So we started with one machine, and after 3 months, we were so busy, we decided that we bought a 6-head machine, and just like let's go, let's just keep going, and before you know it, that 6-head machine is running. It's running a lot, and it's been a lot of fun. Nicole has become very good at embroidery. Still got a lot to learn, both of us, but I don't embroider though, but in other things. And those are just some hats we did for the Berkeley Hotel in Bayhead, and it's just different things that different stuff that we've done. Okay, so then after that we got into screen printing. Anybody familiar with screen printing? They know how, they have these screens. They put the art comes. If you have 4 colors, each color comes off and it becomes a part of a screen. They make the screen, so then they go one. They paint it. They go to the next screen. They paint it. They heat it, and all that kind of stuff, and it keeps going. That's become a very big part of our business. I mean, everybody's wearing screen printed shirts here, pretty much. Screen printing is probably the most popular way of doing this kind of business in printing. This is the dryer. Here's an actual one. This is a really big one. There's probably like 15 stations on it, so you could do they do all kinds of different stuff on it. It's unbelievable, the colors and the painting, and this one's a dryer. No, I think that one's a dryer, and it goes to a dryer, and it does the next screen. It's really complicated, but it's really pretty cool. It's all hydraulics. So then we're going into direct to film. That's a good looking guy. At least he photographs well. So what direct to film is, it's a film. This is a printer. This is a regular printer right here. And there's a film that comes through it, and it prints the picture on it. So this is direct to film. So this picture will be put on a piece of film, and it goes through there. And this part here is called a shaker box. So when the film comes through it, it's still warm, and the shaker box puts adhesive attached to all the ink. So when that comes out, you cut it, you put it on the garment, and you heat press it. So this is what the film looks like with the picture, and it goes on, and then it press it down. You take off the film, and you have a shirt. It's a way of saving a lot of money. There's no screen charges. It's all because you don't have to have a screen for each color. And it's a vibrant color. So here's a shirt that was screen print, was direct to film. The only objection, you see the colors come out really bright, and the only objection people sometimes have with it, if you feel it, you can kind of feel it's a little more like a little vinyl-y kind of feel, as opposed to this here is a regular screen printed, and it kind of feels like it's paint on it. So that's just the two differences of the different shirts. I like the direct to film. It doesn't come off. You could use it as much as you want, and it's a great product. And you could do 2 or 3 with screen printing. You have some big orders. So someone needs just a couple of pieces, we do it for them. So promotional products. Promotional products I got into, and this promotional products what changed our whole business. So we're doing this thing that I was telling you about. You want to keep the customer. One day a guy calls me for pens, regular pens. I don't want to do pens. I want to do what I'm doing. I don't want to bother. I call a friend of mine that I grew up with. He's in the promotional business. I said, Billy, do me a favor. I'll give you a customer. Just do the pens for me because I don't want to do them. He says, all right, I'll give you a commission. I don't need a commission. Just take care of him. I just want to make sure he comes back to me. I know we were very close friends when we were young. He goes, call them up. Call the company ASI that does all the promotions and speak to them. And if you don't want to do it after that, I'll do it for you. I'll get it all done for you. So I said, I don't think I'm calling them. I'm going to send it to you. You do it. Sure enough, I hang up. I call them up. I signed up with ASI immediately, on the spot. And that completely changed our business. All of a sudden now, I'm getting people calling me up for anything from drinkware. This is a piece, a customer called us up, they bought 2,000 of these. This business, this promotional business, is not a really artistic business. It's more of a taking an order business. So I had a person that wants something like this. I find the right product for him, and then they just buy it. We do the artwork and do it, and I send it out. They send me a check. So I kind of like that part of the business. But to me, still the embroidery is the most fun, because we love to help companies with small companies, 2 people, 3 people, because I believe that I need to wear my logo on my shirt. And most places are not going to do 2, 3, 4 shirts for you. They just don't do it. It's not worth their time. We want those customers. We always want those customers. I know it makes me feel good to wear my logo on my shirt. And we try to pass that on to people for no other reason than do it. I'll sometimes make it for them. I'll tell you about this other part, but I sometimes make them for people, and I just bring them to them. I just give it to them. They don't even know I'm making it, just because they're good people, and it's not expensive to do it for me. So that's a lot of fun. Promotional products. I mean, we have literally, there are books. This is like a higher end one that we have. They took all the other ones, but anything from a chip clip to luggage. There's just so many things in between, and it's a lot of fun to me. It's finding the products and doing all the right things and having fun. It's really good. We're just about done with this part. That's just a few more of the director films we've done. That's my daughter-in-law's cousin or sister. I don't know, but they got engaged. This is my granddaughter, my two granddaughters, and they're wearing director film also. Our company is Royal Stitch and Print, but the actual name of our company is Queen Natalie Enterprises, and that's Queen Natalie. And she would love to tell you about how she's the queen of our company, the #1 person. And but that's what makes this all worth it to me. This is so much fun about this business for me. So that's that part of it. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about what I've gone through to get into this business, where I was, how I got here. So I grew up in Brooklyn, right by Coney Island, and honestly, back then, we were poor, but we didn't know we were poor. We came outside, went to the park every day, and if I was lucky, I got a quarter from my mother to get an, believe it or not, ice cream cone was a quarter back then. And sometimes she sent me 20 cents and said, find it somewhere else. But it was a great time. I went to school. I didn't really go to school. I didn't pay attention in school. I came in here, I was telling Carrie that I loved the way I saw everybody working when I walked into the first class, and the way it was. School was never like that for me. Personally, I don't think I ever had a teacher who took an ounce of interest in my academic part of what I did, ever. I don't remember it. And that's how I learned not to learn. Luckily, I got good in sports. I became a pretty good basketball. I played high school basketball. I played a little in college. And that kept me in school. When I got to college and I got hurt, I never went back to college. I was done. I didn't care. I didn't want to do it. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was getting married very young. I got married at 23. I went and got a job in Manhattan. I didn't know what to do, honestly. So I got a job in like a stock market back office kind of place. And as I said earlier, I had terrible claustrophobia as a kid. I wouldn't go in an elevator. I couldn't go on a train. The train, once it went underground and the walls were right there, I used to flip, like I couldn't sit. I had to run to the first car so I could see through the front that there was an opening. So what did I do? I took a job in Manhattan where I had to take the train every day, and I was on the 50th floor, and I had to take an elevator every day. And I didn't know why I did that, but that one day I kind of realized that I couldn't have this fear. I had to fight the fear. And it worked. I'm not going to tell you I'm not afraid of being in claustrophobic situations, but I could kind of handle it a little better. And that was the beginning of, I don't know, just a kind of way that I lived. When I left there, I realized I didn't want to be working for any companies. The people I went to school with all went to college. Everybody went to college. They went to Buffalo, Binghamton, all these New York schools. And every one of those people came out of college and was doing magnificent. I was struggling. I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself. It was really difficult for me to keep going. I saw an ad in the newspaper for a Coca-Cola route that was for sale. It was one of the red trucks, and you went to the stores and you delivered the soda. And it was, I think it was $165,000 or $175,000, and I needed $65,000 to put down, and they would hold the note. I didn't have a clue. I didn't know nothing. I know nothing about nothing. Went to my father. I said, hey, you know what? I'm kind of interested in this. And he was able to get me to people who would actually lend me the money for some interest, personal loans. I would never qualify for a bank loan. That's out of the question. I did it. I paid them back. I did very well at Coca-Cola. That was probably one of the best I ever did in my life at any business. When the only problem was I had a contract with Coke, and at the end of 10 years, they didn't re-sign the contracts, and we were out. I had two routes that were worth about $600,000, Coca-Cola took them back, and I think we got 200, 250. I don't remember the exact number. And my brother was involved at that time, and so it really wasn't that much money. Owing a lot of money, it was a lot, but it's not a lot. And we just went on. Finished at Coke, and that's when I went into the trophy business. I had a friend that was a franchisor, another franchise. The franchise for trophies was great. I loved it. I was going to all these places making trophies. That's when I started getting involved with all this stuff. But it was just too hard, too difficult. And I'm doing it, and then after a while, I just wasn't making enough money. And we decided we're going to get out. So I sold it. And I went and did a couple of other things on my own. I would only work for myself now. And then I saw something that there's a bagel cafe and deli new franchise. I said, hey, I'll try. I'll keep trying. I'm not going to stop. And I go and I get loans and put in. It cost me $265,000 to put this store together. Gorgeous store. We were in business about 2 years, and we went bankrupt. Literally bankrupt. Every part of me, my mind, my soul, my finances, was bankrupt. It was rough just looking at my wife, having nothing. And it was 5 years. We didn't have a credit card. We didn't have anything for 5 years. We got lucky. We got to keep our car. We had one car. The other one we had to give back because it was a lease. It was the roughest time of my life, and it was the worst. At the end of the 5 years, I got a letter from a credit card company offering me a credit card. It was good for $300. $300. And I thought I was the king of the world. I got credit again. It was the greatest feeling, and I never wanted to lose that feeling again. I did not want to go through that again. I didn't want my wife to go through it. My kids saw me go through it. It was, my kids is one of the reasons why I went through it as strong as I went through it, because I couldn't let them see me not being able to do it. So we're finished with that. My wife wants me to take a regular job. She says, I think, we've been through a bunch of businesses and stop and this and that. I went into the insurance business and the real estate business. And then this came up, how I told you before, with my sons. And when we decided we were doing it, we got the machines and we were going, and it's working. And after the first 3 months, we went and bought that 6-head machine. So we had the one head machine, and then we bought that 6-head one. So now we could do 7 pieces at a time as opposed to 1. So we're putting out a lot of product as much as we can. And it was working. It was working great. It was just unbelievable. The question is, what do I do to make the business run? I never had to do that. I usually had a store or something, people coming in. How do I get business? You want to have your own thing. Where are you going to get your business from? That was my next dilemma. And the first thing I did was I joined the Brick Chamber of Commerce, which to this day, 3 years later, it's the best thing I ever did. So I walk in there off the street. I don't know nothing, but I know they deal with businesses. And I get introduced to a bunch of people in a bunch of different businesses. And all of a sudden, I'm going back and meeting new people, learning new things. And people, you find out, are very interested in you succeeding. Because if I succeed, they succeed. I need a lawyer. I go to the person in the Chamber of Commerce. It's a lawyer. I go, that's how we did it. So that was my first step into networking. Anybody familiar with networking? What it means, how it works? So I joined a group called LaTip. LaTip is a bunch of people that get together, and it can only be one person in each for each seat. I'm the I do the embroidery. There's a lawyer again. But there's only one of each, and our thing is to give each one. Oh, you need a lawyer. Oh, my friend Jim in my tip group, he's a lawyer. Maybe he could help you out. It was it changes everything. Those kind of things, the people you meet, the things you do, is unbelievable. The thing that I'm stressing to you the most though is never quit, never stop. A failure is not a failure. A failure is a step back for you 5 steps forward, and it's really important. Business is hard. Being an entrepreneur is hard. My daughter-in-law thinks Saturday or Sunday comes, and like, oh yeah, we're off today. Oh, yeah. You own a business, you're not off. You're never off, and it's how badly do you want to succeed? I want to succeed. I want to give them. I never made a ton of money in my life. I live well. We have a nice house. We do okay, but I don't have that giant thing to leave my kids. So part of what I'm doing is for them. If I could build this up big enough that there's a sustainable business for them to run, and that's what my leaving them is, I could kind of live with that. It's also a lot of fun. It's really stressful, but it's a lot of fun. And you get in, you get out what you put in, and that's everything. And that's about it. Thank you. Yes. Oh, that picture is in my daughter-in-law's garage. So we have our garage set up, and then we keep all our merchandise down in the basement. We used to be in the basement, but my head touches the ceiling, so I said we gotta get out of here. Anyone else? The tip? Yeah, sure. So there are tip groups everywhere. I happen to be in the tip of Asbury Park. My group, we have 27, I think, in there. And I'll tell you a good story about it. There's a young lady that sells title insurance, and she one day she buys she gets little notepads from me. She says, "Hey Mark, I need 100 notepads for our surety title," and I bring them 100 notepads, and she brings it to them to send me a check for whatever it was, and then about 3 months later, I get a message from them. They need these vinyl envelopes, like 11 by 13 or something like that. They come out to be about $5 each, and they buy 100 of them. Nice little sale. I was real happy with it. We get it. I send it to them. Time goes by. We get a little busier, and time goes by. I forget about them. One day I say, I gotta keep up with this, and get in touch with them. Hey, how you doing? Just want to say hello. Is there anything we can help you with? That day, there's an email from Carly, from that group, for 3,700 envelopes. That was 2.5 years ago. I don't know what they do with these envelopes because they buy them from us by the thousands. And that was all because we just did that little thing for that person. Because a lot of people wouldn't even do those little notebooks for 100, 500 minimum. No, what do you need? What can I, the least amount that whoever's printing them for me lets me do, that's how many you could do. I don't care. And we've gotten a lot of jobs like that by helping smaller businesses. I'll just give you one more. I'm dealing with a lady from there. She's in another tip group also. She's in another tip group, and she buys a little thing. She's a realtor. She buys some shirts. She bought whatever she needed. We did for her. All of a sudden, she's the person who orders the stuff for their 5K day. So they have races and giveaways, and she wound up buying probably 15 different products from us and probably spent close to $40,000. All because I met somebody in a tip group who I was nice to her, she was nice to me, and you build a relationship. I'll tell you one thing about business. You know who people do business with? They do business with people they know and like and trust. That's the best way to get with a person to do business. If you know, you like them, and you trust them, you're going to want to do business with them, and they're going to want to do business with you. Again, I'm 66. I'm in this business three years. 4 years ago, I didn't know any of this. I didn't know how to do this stuff. And I've been in business for myself this whole time. But I didn't know how to motivate people, deal with people, work with people. It's a lot of fun. And don't give up. Don't stop. And it'll be good. Last call for questions. Embroidery goes by stitches. This here is probably 7,000 stitches, somewhere around there. So 7,000, this will probably take 12, it's about, altogether with hooping it and all that, it's about 12 minutes, call it 15 minutes, 15, 30, 6 or 7 at a time. 25 in about 90 minutes, 30 and 90 minutes. I'm trying to do it quick in my head, getting a little slower, but trying. And it's fun. I wish I knew this business 10, 15 years before I know it now. I'd be in a whole nother place. But we are where we are, and you make the best of that, and I enjoy it. All right, guys? Oh, I brought you guys, these are like head warmers, ear warmers. So I got these for you, and I got can koozies. So you could come up and take and enjoy them. Thank you.